missed this so much. I haven't been able to paint because I couldn't stand on my left foot. Not for long enough to do anything. And so I've just got this leaning up against the desk, and I'm sitting on a chair, which I usually hate to sit to paint, but I don't think I'm painting, I'm drawing. And I'm loving the effect. Now this is a medium-sized Srulock chrome marker. It's an oil-based pen, and for like 3 months I've been wanting to sit here and, well, not sit, but I was gonna stand, but I've been wanting to work on this painting with gold, and I've gone through my head so many times about what kind of marks to put. And then I just went, okay, I'm not going to worry about what the marks should be, and I'm just going to draw. And I'm responding to an edge is where two values meet. I'm just responding to the edges I see. And seeing that, you know, I can follow some of those. Some of this is floating Bernese Mountain Dog hair. I will have to go over it with a tack cloth, I think, to make sure it's all off of there. But they're also lending interesting patterns that I'm drawing. So they're okay right now, but they won't stay there. That's the one thing that's been difficult about having a dog in my life, especially one that's a constant, doesn't shed in batches as she sheds all the time, small amounts. But it's super light and fluffy, and so it gets on absolutely everything, including in my eyes, and it kind of drives me crazy. She's a sweetheart, but that hair, it's amazing, and I don't like it in my paintings, but in this case, because it's been sitting for a couple months, in this case, it's actually been helpful, because they add interesting patterns, and then I can remove all of that, and I'm left with just my artwork. It's been kind of a hard adjustment to get used to dog hair on my artwork, because the pen is picking it up. And unfortunately, no amount of sweeping or vacuuming gets rid of all of it. It's just really, really, really light. Sorry, I'm looking at my left hand on my phone. I'm not wild about the dog hair, but it does take me out of a rut in thinking. And sometimes I need the kick. If I go slower, I get a bolder line, but I don't always want one. If I go right upright, I get a really fine line. Too fine to see, but I come back and I can embolden that line more by coming up at a 45-degree angle. So I can get pretty detailed or not. It's just an abstract, at least at this point. I don't think it'll be anything besides an abstract. And I have a bold one also. I might try bold in a few places, but not tons of places. I like the light, delicate. The whole painting is kind of light and delicate. And so the drawing can also be light and delicate. Bold would be such a contrast. I don't think I'd really like it a whole lot. Whoops, I'm out of frame. Here we go. At least it doesn't spit paint. I've had some kinds of pens that spat paint, and it was not useful for what I was doing at the time. And it certainly wasn't this kind of effect, which I'm liking this. It's pretty cool. And I like drawing, especially the abstract stuff. I did a walkthrough of my bestiary that was, it's not completed yet. It still has another 100 pages or so to do before it's completely full. But the bestiary was all improv drawing. I draw 1 or 2 every night before I went to sleep. And it was a way to keep my art alive while I was recovering from a concussion. And it was really, I really liked the things that were happening in it. And what was I found odd was they became more controlled as time went by. I liked them less controlled and rather wild, because after all, they were monsters. And who wants a tame monster? Okay, that dog looks terrible. Hopefully I don't empty the pen before I get through what I want to draw on here. Yep, now the fuzz seems to interfere with it drawing. At this angle, these just look like they're little gray or brown marks. But if we look at the light reflecting over them, they completely change. I think it'll be fun to hang it on the wall and move around and see what shows up. And now I have the bold one, and I'm adding in some bold lines. Now, they look brownish gray when you don't have light reflecting off of them. When light's reflecting off of them, it's very shiny gold color. But I don't want every line bold. In fact, I don't have to go over the lines I have here. I can make all new lines if I want. I want a little more weight at the bottom here, so I've gone to a bolder marker. It's nice and fresh and full right now. It's, the other one was beginning to fail, and I don't know if it had dried enough inside, or I used it all up, or what the deal was. Don't know. But these lines also help give it structure. It was also pastel that it didn't have a lot of structure. It had structure, but even with this, it still is quite... Where's that line? What's that one? Sorry, I can't talk and draw at the same time. Being so pastel, it didn't have strong lines of its own. And it's all pretty subtle, really. You can see these because of the angle. But when they're upright, they'll look like that. And it still gives it structure. So that's fine. I didn't want to draw black on it though. Black would just be too harsh and kind of weird. And I can see all these other forms and shapes in here I'd like to capture. Like that one. It's like, this is so fun. And I have some more 36 by 48 I can work on. They're kind of leafy-like structures here. So I don't know. It is a very, very fun thing to do. And it's very, very risky because I could so easily wreck the painting. But it's tolerating my weird menstruations. Let's see. Down again. Let's see where we are. So very light up there. My hand is moving too much. So I need to strengthen this side over here so that it's more leading into that upper area. So it's a little weak right now. And so more of this gold stuff will strengthen this area. A little more here. This dog here drives me crazy. Ooh, don't poke the canvas. There's more canvases back there. Let's go up here. Up. It needs to strengthen here. And along here. I don't want to obliterate the light lines because I really like them too. Now this is more paint, so I do not want to swipe across this paint because it doesn't dry instantly. So I have to be careful when the dog here gets up on it. I have to take it off of there to remove it. I can't swipe it off. Needs a little more strength down here. Well, I'm going to leave it there for now. Look at it after a while. After my studio is out of my eyes. There it is for now.